Let's go. Shake my hand, Wolf. Thanks for coming, Wolf.
Yep.
And asking to be on the show. Frick. Freaking weeds. Sorry for making this setup take forever, but I want to get a cool spot.
Yeah, it's fine. I like the spot. Let's show.
We're in the woods again. The woods loop got taken out for the second, or I'm here for the second time because I had a podcast with Pace that I filmed out here completely, but it got deleted, sadly.
Yeah.
But
it's nice out here, though.
Yeah, it's super chill in the morning out here.
Yeah.
But this has to be poison ivy. The way it's freaking oily. Luckily, I don't get it, though. That's fine.
Yeah.
Main thing I wanted to talk about today was like surrounding yourself with the right people. I feel like that's a center message of like a lot of people say is like the people you surround yourself with, you become like.
Yeah.
What's like your relation to that, you feel like?
I feel like that's difficult because like I would say like in my current spot and like my journey with Christianity, like I wasn't that close with God for a while, but I feel like I'm really like diving into that relationship right now. But I've noticed like anytime I surround myself with people, like who don't have the same beliefs as me, like my morals just go out the window.
Yeah, it's
Like
like a switch.
yeah, it's like a switch. Like anytime like I'm around people, like the things that I've been working on, like it's like limit like the amount of sinning that I do and just like control, like self control a lot, just goes like straight out the window whenever I'm with like people who like don't have the same beliefs as me.
Yeah, I feel
I,
that too, and like the way you talk too, like
yeah,
low-key, like you don't even like notice it, and it just kind of changes like that when you're
yeah,
around those kind of people. And it's like nothing against them too, like you want to help them too, but like there's just like a certain amount of like how close you let like some people get to you so that they don't rub off on you like that.
yeah,
No.
yeah. I don't know. It's really difficult to like deal with that because at the same time like you want to keep people close enough that eventually you can like share God's gospel with them,
Hmm.
but at the same time I feel like a lot of people don't like want to hear that, like they've completely like shut that off.
Yeah, a lot of people like they may seem like I was just talking about this with Adam yesterday in the podcast I just filmed. But a lot of people, they seem like they don't care to listen to it, or they seem like they're not getting it at all. But if you keep just, you don't even have to wait that long. But if you just like every once in a while kind of throw a little bit of like God into what you're talking about, or just
Yeah.
little bitty like planting like little bitty seeds of stuff, like it might not seem like they care or like it at all, but eventually like it'll rub off and it'll like
Hmm.
maybe click with them. But like
Yeah.
it's not up to you to do that. It's up to you to like try and spread the word to them, but it's between like them and God to figure it out.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's hard like with school and that when so many of these people like you got to be around them, and like you're going to be around them like so much like every day
Yeah.
because of school or things like that.
Yeah. And I feel like it's just like a really like school, I don't even know, it's like an environment where it's like it's so negative all the time. Like I feel like school, like a lot of the times like I'm already in kind of a bad mindset for the day because like I'm already waking up at 7 and I don't like waking up that early. It's like go to school and I'm around people I don't really like necessarily want to be around all day. But like I feel like whenever I go to school every day, like I feel like I like am further apart from God, like in a way, because like it's just more difficult. Like the start of the summer, I've like really focused on my relationship with God because like I haven't had much to do. But like
Hmm.
whenever I'm so busy, I have school and then I have track and stuff. And I know that's not an excuse, but like it's just I come home and I'm like I'm tired.
I know
Like I can't fit everything in that I want to do.
your brain's just like fried. I feel that too. Like I actually like made a video about this like a while ago, but like I wake up in the morning and I feel so like energized all the times and just like happy and stuff. And then like you come to school around all these people that are just like on their phones scrolling, barely even talking to you, just like sitting there, just like
Yeah,
super negative and just done with school, and then just being at school in general.
yeah,
It just sucks like you're being made to do things that you don't even really want to do, that doesn't even seem like there's any point to it.
yeah. And I'm definitely a victim to that. Like being negative at school. Like I'm definitely like you said like just like scrolling and not really talking to people at school. Like I've definitely like
Yeah, I feel like everybody's like
yeah
Like
'cause nobody really
I
wants to
try
be
not
there.
to scroll as much anymore. I try not to be on my phone as much at school anymore unless I'm doing something productive.
Yeah.
But like when you have all these people around you that are doing that same exact thing,
Yeah.
like you feel like pressured to like do it too.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. I I don't even know what I was gonna say. I just feel like school is like a negative kind of space, and people kind of come there, and everybody just kind of gets like it's a snowball thing. Like
Yeah.
you don't really want to be that negative, but then everybody else is, and it just kind of spreads to like everybody
Yeah.
type of thing.
And like especially at school, like I'm not saying that there's like no religious freedom, but like it's kind of hard to like express like your religion there at all. Like, at school, like, the teachers can't like talk anything about God or they may get in trouble. And
Hmm.
there's FCA every couple weeks, but like, out of
Some
like,
teachers they can't even be involved with FCA because of rules
yeah,
about that.
but like out of like the 1,200 students that try at high school, only like a few go to FCA. And like, sometimes I don't go to FCA because I just
Yeah,
don't feel like it.
I'm a Christian. I don't even go either because I mean a lot of times I'm busy for one, and then I don't know. I just it's something I just kind of forget about.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's just like a really bad environment.
Yeah,
It's
what's
easy to get sucked away from like the main purpose whenever you get so drawn into like the daily cycle of like get going through your classes and there's the constant rush. It's like it's hard to really focus in on God.
for sure because you just yeah, like you were saying, you get sucked into the day to day, and you don't realize like
Yeah.
school makes you forget that there's a whole like world out there and like
Yeah.
God and all that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
And with FCA and that, I feel like that's definitely a good thing that people should and I should have gotten into more because being able to find friends that are that good influence around you that aren't like changing you and pushing you away from God, but doing the complete opposite, which is what you should have.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to get involved with that with the next church I go to whenever I move is get
Hmm.
into some of those like small groups and stuff so I can
Yeah.
find more people my age and that
Hmm.
know God and want to be better like I do.
Yeah.
So
Well, um, yeah, I don't know. It's just really difficult at school, I feel like, because there's just like we already said, like there's just such a negative environment there. And there's like nothing you can do about it, honestly. Like one person isn't going to be able to like change a lot. And I feel
no, but
like,
I feel like if you start doing that and like you get your friends too and you just like start having that positive energy and stuff
yeah,
of God and that I feel like people will start seeing that and it could brighten some things with school.
yeah. Well, like another thing is like, I feel like this is something that I've struggled with. And like, I feel like God was like trying to send me messages, like telling me to like work on this. And that's um, like spreading, not being scared to spread the gospel and not being like ashamed to spread the word of God. Like I feel like, you know, I'm like just getting back into Christianity after a while because I felt like it was really forced by my parents for a long time. And I'm finally getting to the age where like I want to pursue a relationship with God. But like for the past couple of years it's been like kind of forced by like my parents just because like, like you have to go to church, you have to go to youth group and stuff.
Yeah, I
But
felt
like
like that too for sure.
um but like um I feel like God's really pushing me to like share my beliefs more. But it's hard because like I want to share my beliefs with God, but like I feel like a lot of people like wouldn't even know that I'm a Christian just because of like, things I've said in the past or like
Hmm.
the ways that like I've acted in school before, like never anything bad, but like just like joking around with your friends and stuff. And like
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like something that a Christian would do.
yeah.
Because what people don't, people when they like, when you say you're a Christian or something, a lot of people just think that you think you're better than them and that you're so perfect. But the thing is, we're
Yeah.
not. We're just trying to be on a better path, and that's like the
Mhm.
difference.
Yeah. I don't know. There's just a lot of hate for Christians these days. And I feel like um a lot of Christians are just trying to like keep to themselves. And I know that like that's not really like what you're supposed to
No, we
do.
really shouldn't.
And you're supposed to like, put the word out there and really like um I don't know, just really like talk about your like the situation that you're in with
Yeah,
like
you want to
God.
make Jesus known and tell your
Yeah.
testimony in that.
And you want to like I feel like
And Dragonfly.
um God wants you to like talk about the struggles that you've had with Christianity so
Mm-hmm.
that other people feel like they're not alone.
Yes, they can relate to you in that.
Because sometimes I feel like, I pray, like I go through the motions and stuff, but sometimes I feel like I'm talking to a wall. And like I know that I'm not, but sometimes I feel
We're gonna go
like
through
nothing's
times
ever
like that for sure.
happening.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's part of it. That's
Yeah.
part of the struggle. There's gonna be weeks where you'll feel like you're on fire for God, and then there's gonna be other like silent weeks where you're just gonna feel like He's not there. But sometimes when He's silent, like I always hear like it's probably because you're going through a test and He's trying to make you like learn something, and that's why He's not saying anything.
Yeah.
Because like a teacher's quiet during a test or something like whatever, however that quote goes.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just trying to keep God like more consistent in my life at this point.
For sure.
Like last week I had a really bad day and I tried to I relied on God all day. Like I feel like that was like the first like the breakthrough moment for me in
Mm-hmm.
like my journey with Christ because like I've just like started to get back into it again after like, kind of pushing God away for a while. But yeah, I'm just trying to keep it so that I don't just rely on God through the hard times. Like I want to be there and like actively pursuing a relationship with him like through the good times too.
Yeah, for
It's just
sure.
like I feel him more whenever times are tough.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot too. Like there's this other there's this other quote I've heard that's like whenever you hit rock bottom, like you find God there because like He is the rock at the bottom. He's the one who's like going to
Yeah.
bring you up to the top. So there's really nothing to lose whenever you like go through a hard time and you get to the bottom because God's going to be there to bring you up to the top. You just have to accept Him.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what has helped me a lot. But like at this point, I'm just trying to keep God like relevant in my life through like the good times too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's almost like it's easier like to forget sometimes in the good times because you get so caught up in like the moment and stuff. But you got to remember that God's like the reason you're there,
Yeah.
and He's the reason that you got out of that hard time.
Mhm. Yeah.
And the good times don't last forever either. There's gonna be a
Yeah.
hard time again soon,
Hmm.
and you're gonna need God to get through that too. And
Yeah.
I mean, there's gonna be times He's silent through those times too, because you have to learn and stuff.
Hmm. Yeah. But like along with like the hard times, like I feel like you know like um humans are born into like sinful nature, and
For sure.
I um I feel like I've like I don't know. I don't feel like the things that I've done are worse than like other people, but like I just like hold myself to a certain expectation because I know that I'm like a child of God. But like
Yeah, you definitely should.
yeah.
But don't compare yourself. You shouldn't compare yourself to other people either,
Yeah.
because everybody's on their own different path on different times, and like, I mean, none of us are perfect.
Yeah.
God's the only one who should judge other people and
Yeah.
do those type of things.
Yeah. My brain just went completely blank.
You're good.
I was gonna
No,
say something, then
you ma-
I was gonna
you
say something, then like I went blank.
no, you're good. You were freaking up since like 3 a.m. last night or something, so you're just
Yeah,
like dead.
it's fine. Then I ran, but
What you were saying about you don't always feel motivated to like spread the gospel when you feel like God's
yeah.
pushing you to. Like you may not like what I was saying earlier, like you might not think that people are gonna want to hear about it, but like you never know what like situation someone's going through that they
Yeah.
could relate to like your testimony or your situation,
Mhm.
that it might really click with them from you
Yeah.
just sharing it. And I mean, God knows all, so He's definitely pushing you to do that for a reason. So
Mhm.
it definitely would work out if you were to share it
Yeah.
because God's pushing you to do it.
Mhm. I feel like at like the current moment, I'm trying to like make God more stable in my life before like putting it out there because like I want God to be consistent in my life first so that like I'm not like spreading the gospel and the next day I'm like, you know, sinning and stuff and people see that. Like
Hmm.
I want God to look good. Like I want to spread the gospel but not make Christians look bad at the same time, you know?
Yeah, I get that,
Like
but
not make the image look bad because you know like there's already like a bad look on Christians at the moment because like people just aren't like ready to accept God at all.
well, a lot of people say they're Christian, but they're not Christian. Like
Yeah.
American Christianity, there's probably like there's definitely billions of people that just say they're Christians, but they just live their lives normal and don't do anything.
Yeah. And I think like that term is called like lukewarm, like
Yeah,
where you're like
lukewarm.
you believe in God but you're not like you
You're
haven't
not
given your
taking
life up
act. Yeah,
yet.
you're not taking action on it or anything.
Yeah.
You don't really care that much.
And
You're
I feel
too
like that's a good
focused.
way to like describe how I was for a while. And I feel like I
Me
still
too.
might be that a little bit. Like I've accepted God more, but it's just like a struggle at the same time because I try to give my life up and I feel like I do too much at first and then I fall back into sin easily.
There's this one verse that talks about, you know, that one like parable that Jesus tells where it's talking about, it might be mustard seeds, some sort of seeds, and then there's ones that are sowed in the path where there's rocks. There's ones that sowed like in the soil and stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
Uh,
No, it's talking about,
I get what you're saying.
it's talking about like the ones in the rocks, like they're like what you were talking about. Like they take the message of God like right away, like
Oh
super
yeah.
fast, and they shoot up really fast, but then
Mm,
like they lose their root and then they like fall back down like into
yeah.
sin and stuff like that.
Hmm.
You just have to like, you have to stay with the journey and not like give up when like it gets tough and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's like the main thing of it. A lot of people like get into their Jesus arc for a little bit because it makes them feel good for like a short time, but then they like start to miss the old things and give back into old things and
Yeah.
go backwards.
And I feel like that's how I was for a while, but I constantly noticed that like the things that I was seeking out in life wasn't like giving me like the peace and joy that I wanted. Like,
Yeah, that God gives.
yeah. Like I feel like I'm actively searching for that like peace and like love that Christians talk about they feel from like following Jesus. But
Hmm.
like, you know, like I've searched like for that same peace in like other things and I've never found it. It
You
usually
won't.
just makes me feel like worse.
Yeah, exactly. I always hear this too. There's a God-shaped hole in your heart, and nothing else is going to be able to fill that other than
Hmm.
God.
Yeah.
And it's honestly so true. Because all these things of the world, all the things that you give into, lust and all that, like it's temporary, but God is forever.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just like I'm trying to like feel what God is telling me to like cut out of my life at the moment. Because that's difficult because there's certain things that I don't want to like leave from my life that I know like deep down I probably should. Like
You have to trust God on it. I got rid of a lot of things like that. Like something I want to talk to you about is like music and that.
yeah,
I try not to like, what's that word for when you feel that God doesn't want something to be in your life? I forgot.
I'm
It's
not
like
sure.
discernment, or it's like another word that starts with a C, I think.
I'm not sure.
Conviction.
Yeah.
Like when you feel conviction. I was just I I was like heavy into like a lot of rap. And then I just like, I was listening, there's this one girl that has a podcast. She used to be like a TikToker that would make a bunch of those like slutty video type things, but then she like turned to God and stuff. Her name's like Gabriela Annalisa, and she makes a podcast. But anyway, I was listening to that, and she was talking about music and that, and I just kind of like felt conviction over that I should cut out a lot of the music I listen to.
Yeah.
And I know like what you were saying a little bit ago, like you don't have to follow some of those artists' beliefs, but like what they're singing about like in their songs, like I mean that melody, that beat, and that like
Mm.
um music, the words, like it gets like stuck in your head. And when you're like, when you have like talk about fricking all these girls and n-word this and
Yeah.
all this stuff like stuck in your head, like it's talking about lust and all kinds of sin, like that's definitely not good for you at all.
Yeah.
That's
And I feel like that music like puts you in a kind of like mindset, like just the same way like you can listen to gospel music and really feel God. Like I feel like you can like listen to like that type of music
You can listen to music of the
like
world
and it
and
can take you away from God like really
for
easily.
sure.
Yeah.
That's
Like
my thing about it. That's why I try and not listen to a lot of rap anymore like I used to.
yeah, and I don't even think like rap has like a really bad like it has a really bad like look on it right now. But you know, it's also like other music types too. Like you just have to like you just have to be very aware of what you're listening to
Hmm.
and you know, just like if you feel conviction about something that you're listening to, then you just have to cut it out. Like I haven't felt anything yet, but I know deep down I probably should like cut out some of the music that I'm listening to. Like I'm
For
still
sure.
listening.
That's probably God talking to you. I mean, God will call you out on certain things at certain times.
Hmm.
Like it depends on when he feels like the time is fit for you to get rid of it. But
Yeah.
like there's a lot of artists that I know are like into a lot of satanic stuff, and
Yeah.
sure some of them it may not be very clear, but like just the topics that they sing about. It's definitely
Yeah.
not good for that to be like drilled into your soul and
Mhm.
your head, just hearing that all the time.
Yeah. And like, like I still listen to like Cardi and stuff. And he's like openly like satanic.
Satanic. Yeah, I
But like
I can't.
I don't know. It's just like that's a big struggle for me because I feel like music has gotten me through so much. And that was a big thing. Like a couple years ago, like whenever my parents were really pushing me to be Christian and stuff, they like cut off all my music. And like that was a big battle that I had with my parents where I was like constantly trying to like find songs that were like it was basically like rap. Like I was really into rap at that time, but I was trying to find songs that like weren't that bad. But like I just realized that like that wasn't a battle that I was like trying to fight with my
Mhm.
parents. But like now at that point, like I'm trying to get back into some of that Christian music. But at that time, I was listening to like the Christian rap and like the Christian music that they have out there, and I was like, this is garbage. Like,
Yeah, some of it is, but there's this one dude. I don't know if you've heard of Caleb Gordon, the one who sings it
yeah,
like Yesterday Gone. That he's actually pretty good.
yeah,
But like that's not even saying like you have to listen to Christian music. I mean, it's good to listen to church music. It's pretty uplifting, but like
hmm,
just staying away from the stuff that's it's like drilling stuff of the world in your head and driving you
yeah,
away from God.
yeah,
So I mean, I listen to like a lot of classic rock and stuff now,
yeah.
a little bit of country now, but
Yeah, I listen to like country and pop and like R&B and stuff. But one thing I have like tried to limit is like drill rap because I was really into that for a while. But like that's like I wouldn't say that it's too bad, but like I would just say that just it puts you in a mindset that like isn't godly. Like I feel
for
like
sure.
that like affects me more than anything else. Like I used to listen to like a lot of King Von and like Lil Durk and stuff, and like um that put me in a place where I felt like angry all the time because like that's
Yeah.
just all that they talk about is just
Music's
like
powerful, dude. There's definitely
yeah,
there's an energy with it that
mhm,
can I mean, it can change your mood for sure.
yeah. But like I feel like that would constantly put me in like a negative mind space where I was constantly thinking like like get revenge on this, get revenge on that because that's always like
Yeah,
blasting in my
that's
ears.
the opposite of what God
Yeah.
teaches too.
But yeah, I don't really know. It's like that's a struggle with me for sure is music because I feel like it leads me in a path away from God, but at the same time I feel like music has helped me so much with God.
But has it helped you like in the right way? Like just like some people can feel like alcohol and drugs can bring them out of a bad place. It doesn't mean it's
Hmm.
good for them because it can bring them in a completely different direction.
Yeah.
So like those songs that are talking about revenge, they may make you feel better, but then they may bring you to go and
Yeah.
act on it and revenge. Like you know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
And I used to listen to like Drake used to be my favorite. I used to listen to a lot of stuff like that. And you don't even like some of those like songs like that don't even sound like that bad, but they're freaking sneaky. Like just looking at some of the lyrics, like there's just sneaky stuff in there talking about like the devil and then mocking God in heaven and
Yeah.
stuff that you don't even like
Hmm.
realize. Like that one song, Cinderella with Future in them.
Yeah.
I thought that was like a pretty decent song, and then like that because I heard it before it was unreleased. That was before I like dropped rap, and then I
Yeah.
went and looked at the lyrics of the song, and it's talk about freaking devil this and talking about the devil and stuff. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm freaking done with rap because it's what a lot of it
Literally.
is. Really, where what's this freaking moth?
But yeah, I don't know. At like that's just a real struggle with me because like I know deep down I should probably cut it off. Like that's like probably like one of the things that I don't want to do like the most. Like that's I know that I need to do it, but like it's hard.
I get it. You have to figure out what's really important, and then find something to replace that is like
Yeah.
godly. You know.
Yeah. Like my Spotify Wrapped was like I listened to like 1,800 minutes of music a week. And that was like that's pretty bad. Like
That's a lot.
that's a lot, but like whenever you're listening to that much music, like there's guaranteed to be some like stuff that like God wouldn't approve of. And it's like I feel like I've gotten to like a groove of like listening to so much music um that it's like it's hard to keep it good for God all the time. Because like Spotify will just like it'll give me like new stuff and like it'll like try to like show me new songs and stuff. But like a lot of that isn't good at all.
For sure. I low key just stick to my playlist so it doesn't get me into some weird
Yeah.
crap. And I mean, usually if any kind of rap comes on or something, I usually just kind of skip it, or
Yeah,
something that seems kind of weird, I just skip it.
yeah. I don't know. Like with Cardi, like I listened to a lot of Cardi. Like he was probably like my number one artist like a couple months back. But like I don't know, that's just so bad because like it's just openly satanic. And a lot of people make like the defense that like you can't even understand what he's saying, and that's true, but like I don't know, it's just like
No,
not
but
good at all.
that's just as bad as the stuff I was talking about before. Like it's sneaky, like it
Yeah.
has stuff like hidden in it.
Mm.
Like, and I've heard of other things too, like those satanic rappers. They make like weird ritual crap with their music. Like they
Yeah.
chop up things and hide it in the
Hmm.
song and that. I don't know. It's
And that's not even just rappers. Like that's just a lot of people because
yeah, there is.
um I feel like once you're like into that Hollywood industry, like you've pretty much sold your soul already.
A lot of them have.
Yeah.
That's why you need to stay away from a lot of
Hmm.
that stuff. It's
Yeah.
because it's
I
of
feel
the
like
world.
rappers get like a way worse rap for that because like they're just more open about it. But like a lot of like pop singers and like other like big artists, like they're like,
Yeah,
there's pretty bad
there's
too,
some
but
weird
like
stuff with Taylor Swift too, like
yeah.
that I've seen too. So I don't know.
I try not to like dig on Taylor Swift too much because like she's been successful, but like I don't know. It's like you can't like I feel like you can't like um get on to Taylor Swift about those things. Like she had like that one like performance at like her concert where she was like there were like witches or something on stage,
Yeah,
and then
that's
like but like guys will talk about how she's satanic and stuff, and then listen to like openly satanic like rappers and stuff. People just don't like Taylor
yeah.
Swift.
People are like hypocritical, but no, there is some weird crap with her, the witch stuff, and
Yeah.
who's that other guy who he that redhead guy? He sings like that Vadi dot dot song. You know what I'm talking about?
Ed Sheeran.
Oh, the
Oh,
other
Sam
guy.
Smith.
Yeah, he went like he dressed up as a witch or the devil or something, and
Yeah, I'm at the
he
Grammys.
freaking went crazy too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird crap with that
Hmm.
stuff.
Yeah, for sure. But I don't know. It's like um definitely not leading into a place that you want to be for sure.
What is that?
Dude, what siren is that?
Yeah, no, that sounds like the tornado whistle. I don't know how there's a tornado. It's like sunny and like clear out, unless they're just testing it.
They tested on the first Tuesday of the month.
It's not even Tuesday. It is the end of the month. Who even
Oh,
knows?
whatever. We'll be fine.
Anyways, um, I want to segue back like what you were talking about earlier. Like, I didn't even really know that you grew up in like a Christian household. More
Yeah.
like how what was your come up with God in that? Like,
Well, I feel like my parents have become like significantly more religious in like the past few years, probably like the past 5 years. And all my siblings are older, so they didn't really like grow up with that as much. But my dad's always been Christian and my mom's always been Christian.
hmm
My dad, he grew up like Southern Baptist. So whenever he met my mom, like I wouldn't say he was against God, but he was like, still in that like rebellious stage where he wanted to like get away from that because like he didn't like believe a lot of like their beliefs that they taught. Like Southern Baptist was like really harsh. They were like constantly talking about how like you're gonna go to hell and stuff like that, and that like drilled into his head wasn't that good. But then
you sure that was Baptist or was that Catholic?
no, Southern Baptist.
Really?
It's Baptist is normal, but like Southern Baptist, they're harsh.
Hmm.
They'll just like straight up like I feel like in a way that's good, but
Yeah, but
the
it's
belief
not.
of God shouldn't be about you should believe in God so that you won't go to hell. You should believe in God because you want a relationship and that He created you and He died for your sins.
That's exactly right. And I mean, there you should have a fear of God, but like yeah, like what you said, and also like you want to be able to bring new people in and like
Yeah.
new people. And that doesn't mean water down the word, but like
Well, you should fear God, but you should also feel like immense love from Him at the same time.
exactly. It's not like I was actually just talking about this yesterday too. Like it's not a fear like he's gonna like punish you.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess kind of, but like it's a respect thing. Like your father, like your dad.
Yeah.
Like it's a respect thing.
But yeah, back to like the way that I grew up. Like I don't really remember going to church like that much as a young kid. Like I'm sure that I did, but like it wasn't something that was so memorable. But like
Hmm.
growing up like middle school and stuff, I just remember like being so bored with church and like not liking to go at all. And then youth group, like I go to youth group every Wednesday, not in the summer because it's like off for the summer or whatever. But I just really struggled like this year and like the past couple years, like not really like not fitting in with the people, but like feeling like I don't relate to the people there at all. Like it was like
Because you were still like probably pretty lukewarm. You didn't really understand God, and they were
yeah,
kind of like on fire
and
for
I
it.
think that the
Is that what
people
you
there
felt?
were lukewarm too.
Really?
Yeah, the people there were lukewarm, but it was just like it's people that I didn't normally interact with at school.
Yeah, they just didn't have
Like
like
a
the
different
same.
crowd,
Yeah, I got you.
Like I tried to connect with a lot of them, but it's just like it didn't really work. Like I had a few close friends at youth group, but
Hmm.
I mean, I really enjoy like the time where we would come together as a group and like talk about stuff. But a lot of those kids are so immature, like they can't even like sit down for 10 minutes and like talk about God. They got to be like fiddling with something or getting up and like walking around. Like they
Yeah, I
can't just
got.
like lock in and talk about God for 10 minutes.
Yeah, I get it. Sure.
But um, I don't know. I feel like I don't really like church that much. Like I think that I need to find my
It's
own.
finding the right church,
Yeah,
really.
I need to find a group of people that I relate with more, and because whenever I go to church on Sunday morning, like I'm usually tired and I like genuinely like I don't really want to be there. Like whenever they're praising God and like with songs and stuff, like I don't feel it. Like whenever I listen to like Christian music on my own, like I feel like I do stuff with Christianity better on my own because I can have my own thoughts and I can like read the scripture that I want to read that's like applicable to like my life at that time. But um I've been like back and forth with God for like the past couple of years, but I feel like I'm just like finally coming back to that.
Yeah, I get that. I feel like you can find God a lot more sometimes when you're by yourself, especially when you're starting to get back into it. But like
Hmm.
people like to hate on big churches a lot, but they are good for those small group things because you
Yeah.
can really like that's why I need to do like I was saying like you can really find a lot of people because there's a lot bigger group of people and you can find more people that
Hmm.
are your age and aren't immature and wild and actually
Yeah.
are a lot more similar to you that you can make friends with that
Hmm.
can push you closer to God. And also like finding the right church, like sometimes it really does take the right pastor to really
Yeah.
convey it because there are like there's a lot of good pastors out there. You just have to find the
Uh-huh.
right church because there's a lot of them that are really good at explaining the verse and that and not just reading off the screen and
Yeah.
reading from the book, but they'll actually explain
Hmm.
the verse,
Yeah.
make jokes around, make it actually fun and like apply
Hmm.
it to your life and that.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I don't know. Like getting excited to go to church is something that I struggle with because like I said, like a lot of the times like I stay up late Saturday night and like I'm tired and Sunday morning and like I just don't really want to be there
Yeah.
at all.
I
It's like
get
it's difficult.
I get that. I used to stay up pretty late too. I'm not really like that anymore, but
Yeah.
I've always gone to church because my parents we've just always gone to church on
Yeah.
Sunday, so it's kind of became a routine now. And it didn't used to mean much to me back then, but now
Yeah.
it does because now I'm starting to understand God
Hmm.
and what those things mean now.
Yeah, and I think that like my family was always religious and we've always gone to church, but I feel like we've really like ramped it up the past couple of years.
Really,
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. Um One thing that like my parents are big about is like all like the theories about like the rapture and stuff. Like that's like my parents are kind of big into that.
My dad is decent. He talks about the rapture and that a decent amount
Hmm.
too. I don't know. I I'm still like figuring things out with Christianity. Like I'm still
Yeah.
like I've grown up with it forever, but I'm just now like in the past like year and a half actually like giving my life to it and figuring it out. So I haven't read the whole Bible yet. I've been
Yeah.
working my way through it, but I mean, I'll believe in the rapture and that if it says it in the Bible that that's what's going to happen, like in
Mm.
the end. And I mean, if it does, then I mean, what's the difference? We still get to go
Yeah.
to God regardless.
I feel like the rapture scares me in a way because like I would rather like live to an old age and like be live through God all my life. But like I still go back and forth with God. Like I worry that like I'll get into a time where like I'm not as close with God, and then boom, there's the rapture or something.
Yeah, I
But
know
like
that's
I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm never gonna have a tough time with God again, that I'm never gonna push him away again, because I definitely will. But I feel like I'm just trying to get closer with him in general.
yeah, you just like it says in the Bible many times, you just always have to be ready. And I mean, there's going to be times where you're going to feel like a downside with God, but as long as you keep trying your best and you in your heart you're wanting to be with God the best you can, you just got to be ready and keep trying
Yeah.
to talk to him,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah. But gosh, I mean, like that stuff's just scary. Like I choose to like not follow like the rapture like theology at all, and I feel like that scares away a lot of Christians. Like, um, my church had like a small youth group on like Revelations that my parents went to, and I mean my parents would come home and talk about like the scary stuff like that Revelations talks about, and I mean like I just choose not to follow that closely because I don't want to develop a fear of God. I want to feel, you want to respect God in a way where like that like he's powerful, and he flooded the earth once to like restart like human race, but you also want to love God in a way, and you want to feel peace from him.
Hmm.
You want to know that he loves you, and that Jesus died for your sins. And I feel like you don't want to be scared of God, thinking like, oh, he's a terrible person that's going to send you to hell.
God doesn't send us to hell though.
Yeah. But like I feel like that's what a lot of people
That's
like
what a lot of people
that's
think,
what a lot
and
of people believe, and they're like why would a God that's so loving like allow hell to happen? That's what a lot of
I mean,
people.
we choose on our own
Yeah.
to go to hell. We choose to live our life separate from him, so
But that's what a lot of
we spend
people
eternity.
like. I feel like that's one of the biggest things that like I hear like atheists talk about is like, why would like a God that's so good like allow people to go to hell, or why would he allow like children to die of cancer or something? Like that's what I hear a lot.
What I always say is like God has a plan in all our lives, but like some things like aren't God's will, and there's
Hmm.
real evil in this world. I mean, we see it
Yeah.
every day. Like we were just talking about Hollywood and the rap and music industry. Like there's evil things in this world. There's evil people in this world that works in this world, and
Yeah.
I mean that's what leads to things like the Holocaust and that. And that doesn't mean that's God's will and that's what God wanted to happen.
Yeah.
But that's my answer to a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. Um.
And with what you're talking about, you choose not to follow like, but you got to remember that like even though all those things are gonna be happening, like we're still gonna get to Jesus in the end. Like that's the end goal is like after like the world comes to an end of all the crazy things that are gonna happen. Like
Yeah.
as long as you trust in God, you're still gonna be saved and you're still
Hmm.
gonna go to
Yeah.
paradise with
Hmm.
Christ.
Yeah. Um. Like a big thing that like I feel like has been drilled in my head like the past couple weeks, like with my like ramping up my relationship with God again, is like I've tried to like not focus on worldly things so much. Like, whenever I start to feel like worried about something, like, I'm worried about the upcoming cross country season. Like I gotta cut off like 2 minutes off my time to stay on track with Twyman's times and stuff. And I just choose not to worry about it because I know that, God has a plan for me,
Yeah,
and
it's
it's
gonna
all
work
gonna work out in
itself.
the end. And
Hmm.
if God's plan is that I don't, I'm not as fast as Flyman one day, then that's His will. But
Exactly.
I know that if I work hard and I believe in Him, that everything's gonna work out okay. But I've chosen not to like be worried about like worldly things. Like I see on my Instagram all the time, like people are like talking about like they're all like anxious and worked up about like money and jobs and stuff, but at the end it's not going to really matter because this is only like our temporary place before our forever home.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
And I mean, God has a plan for us. If, like what you're saying, if that's not God's plan, like with you getting that fast, like,
Yeah.
then He's got another plan for you. I mean, these
Yeah.
things are only temporary. And
Well, yeah, and I mean like running's not everything. Like God has a plan for
exactly,
me to help people in the world and spread the gospel and stuff.
exactly.
And I feel like we get way too wrapped up in like the small things in life.
Yeah, many people
Um,
do.
but yeah, I just I understand what people are coming from whenever they say like they don't believe in God, but like I just like I look around and I see like all the beautiful things in life, and like it's hard to believe that like you know that could have came from like an explosion.
That's what I've been saying, bro. Like,
Yeah, like
it,
seeing
there's
like
no
all
way
the
that that
beauty.
just came from chance. The tiny things of freaking microbes and ants that
Mm,
they're so complex and stuff, and just like the beautiful world, that there's no way that it was just some randomness created by the Big
yeah,
Bang.
like the balance of nature and stuff, and like even just looking around, just like all the trees and like the lake, like this is a whole like ecosystem and stuff.
Exactly.
But like it's just everything balances itself out perfectly, and it's hard to believe that.
Our Earth is perfectly away from the sun, perfectly
Yeah,
close enough to.
like I saw something on Instagram the other day, and it was like if gravity was slightly more powerful, we would like something would happen. But
Like we would all die. Yeah.
if it was slightly less powerful, like the Earth wouldn't stay in the solar system. Like gravity is perfectly on point to where like it's completely suitable for life.
Mhm.
And I feel like it's hard to believe that this isn't all for a reason.
Exactly. I mean, everything is for a reason. Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah. But I understand where people are coming from where they're like, like they want to take it from a scientific standpoint, but like, I just like can't believe it. Like that like schools are teaching that like Earth came from like a big explosion and stuff. But
It's
like, I mean, that's like their scientific way that they want to teach it. But I mean, I'm just not believing it because like,
you don't. A lot of people think you have to choose God or science, but like
mhm,
they describe different things.
yeah,
Like God tells the spiritual story of like what happens after. Like
yeah,
I heard this, like God is the chef, but like science is like the recipe book that explains like how it's made. Like
yeah,
God made these things and stuff, but science explains like
yeah,
how it works,
hmm,
stuff like that. That's what I've heard, and that honestly like makes so much sense.
yeah. Like going back between like scientific beliefs and Christian beliefs is something that I've struggled with. Like a Christian belief that I like think is true is like of course that like God created our world and like it wasn't created from like the Big Bang or whatever. But then something that I find like hard to believe and like that I side with science is that like the earth is like actually not that old. Like it's like the Bible talks about how like the earth is like not that old, like as like scientists say that it is, and that's
Hmm.
something that I side with science there. But like it's just
You think the
difficult.
Earth is older?
Yeah, because like if you like go deep into like if you look up and like do research on like what the Bible says about like how old the earth is, like they came to the conclusion that like the Bible thinks that the earth is only like 6,000 years old or something crazy. But like
What makes you think it's like 4 billion years old?
I don't know, it's just like it's another thing where like I see all these trees and like everything that's perfect and like I see like massive mountains and I'm like it's just crazy to think that that's only been here for 6,000 years. Like it's crazy to think that like, I have the chance to live to 100 years old and like I'm here at the beginning of everything. Like I feel like it's been um drilled into my brain that like the earth is like 4 billion years old. Like that's what they've been saying for years that like to now
Hmm.
hear that the earth is like, 6,000 years old or whatever, like it's hard to believe for me. Like I don't know.
I mean,
Like they went from like such a large time to such a small time.
that's true,
Like
but
6,000 years in like relation to like 4 billion years, like 6,000 years would be barely anything.
that's true. I mean, really, what difference does it make though?
It doesn't make any difference. Like I try not to get too caught up into like the
I
small
think
details.
I that's what I just don't see. I don't feel like there's really much like what makes you believe like what I was saying before. Like what really makes you believe that it is that old,
I don't really know. Like
other than like teachers in science saying that
yeah,
it is that way. I don't know.
I don't know. It's like we go to Colorado a lot. We drive out, and it's like we see the beautiful mountains, and it's like it's hard to believe that like that's only 6,000 years old. Like I just find it crazy. Like I'm not saying that like I truly believe that the
Well, you
Earth is
think the
4 billion
mountains would
years
look?
old.
You think they'd look different if it
No,
was
I'm just
four
saying
billion
it's like
years
I'm
old?
just saying like I stand out in nature and I'm like, I know that God created this, but it's like it's crazy how like we're at the beginning of it all. Like I don't even know like what I'm like
I don't
really
know
rambling
exactly
on
if we're at.
about.
I know.
I
Yeah.
know, but like
I don't know
it's
if we're
just like
exactly at the beginning, but
we're not like really at the beginning, but like I would just say that
I mean, 6,000 years, that's still a pretty long time if
yeah,
you think about
but
it.
like scientists talk about how like they carbon dated like a boulder to be like from like 1 million years ago, but it's like I just I have a hard time like conflicting with both sides, you know.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, there's a lot of theories to a lot of things the Bible says, because, a lot of things are metaphors in that.
Mm-hmm.
And like with people in the Bible, like the Old Testament living like hundreds of years, like
Mm.
there's a theory that was like, that they measured time differently back then.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
yeah.
There's a lot of confusing things that I'm not super educated about with that type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. Christianity, it's like I believe in it like completely, but there's just some things that confuse me deeply. Like, whenever I read my Bible, I find it difficult because like there's so many verses and so much said. Like it's such a big book that I feel like um you could just easily get confused because there's so much said.
Yeah,
That's
you
why
definitely can.
I like to go over like on my Bible app, like it'll give me like what are you feeling? And like if I click like I'm feeling like worried right now or something, then I can click on that and it'll give me like summaries of verses that
That's
can
the
like
good
help
thing
with
about
that.
it being so big, bro. Like, we have
Yeah.
this whole life to live, and we have this instruction book
And a
that's
whole
freaking
guide
like
of how to live it.
huge. Exactly.
But I don't know, like I feel like just like personally like I like reading the Bible um like on my phone and stuff because it can like summarize stuff that's like uh, um in use in my life right now
Hmm.
rather than just like starting at Genesis and ending in Revelation because there's a lot of stuff in there that like may not be completely useful for your life at the time.
No, for sure. I mean, I believe like read whatever you want out of the
Yeah.
Bible. I mean, that doesn't mean pick and choose.
Hmm.
I believe you should believe what the Bible says, but I'm saying
Yeah.
like start where you want. I mean, I felt like when I started reading, I started in the Gospels because I felt like that was the most important
Yeah.
part because that's how Jesus lived his life. So I could learn how to live my life.
Yeah.
And I started there, and then I just kept reading, and I'm reading through the New Testament right now because I feel like
Yeah.
that's most interesting to me.
Hmm.
Whatever gets you in the Word, that's what I would say to do. And
Yeah.
whatever's easier for you to understand it is what I would say to do. Like that
Yeah.
app and listening, definitely listening to other people explain it helps a lot.
Yeah.
Like pastors, finding a good pastor, like I was saying,
Hmm.
like
Yeah.
that Cliff Neckel, or however you say his last name. You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about?
Uh,
Him too.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm like at my current like stage with Christianity, I feel like I'm really working on like repenting my sins and like I never did anything too bad, but like it's just like, living in a way that like God wouldn't approve of. Like, we go out and we do like as friends and stuff, we go out and we like say things that we shouldn't and we do things
Hmm.
that we shouldn't do as Christians. But like I'm just working on like, trying to limit like the amount of times that I like do those things. And like I completely forgot what I was gonna say too.
I would say don't focus as much on your sin, but just focus on God, focus on reading, and focus on doing things that you know are good for you. Because if you focus on those, then you're going to forget
Yeah,
about sinning altogether. I mean, that's what I did. I just focused on Jesus in that, and I forgot about like most of the sins, and I don't even struggle with
yeah.
they just cease to become a habit because I mean, God already beat it. You just have to accept it.
I was like trying to make a point there, and then I completely forgot what I was gonna say. Like my brain went completely blank.
You're good, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna think about that for a minute because I'm gonna try to remember what I was gonna say.
You're talking about.
Like that doesn't even happen that often. Like my brain just went completely blank there.
I'm not even gonna lie. Like when you're forget the cameras there. I always like say that, but like whenever like we're doing this, like it just like happens. Okay,
Yeah.
happens to me.
Uh. Yeah. Um. Also, I didn't get like that much sleep last night too.
So yeah, there's definitely that.
Yeah.
I got a solid amount of sleep,
Yeah.
except for I woke up early today.
Yeah. But um, I
You're
don't
talking
know.
about you're trying to stop sinning as much, is
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
I was like trying to make another point about that, but like coming back from like a sinful lifestyle, that's like normal for like a high schooler, like nothing like too serious, but like in God's eyes, like all sins are the same.
For sure.
But I'm just trying to work on, repentance and keeping away from those sins. I really like this Christian rapper Lecrae. Like I've seen him I went with my parents a couple times to see him in concert. But
Really? That's cool.
like he's all for God, he's like a complete Christian. He does all these causes for God and stuff. But like early on in his life, like he was like a normal rapper. Like he turned like completely um for God. Like he we learned his like life story at one of the concerts one time. Like he was like part of a gang and stuff, and he was like doing all this bad stuff. And I think like he eventually like killed somebody at one point. He
Really?
went to jail, and that's whenever he found God. But like it just reminds me that like you are never too far gone for God.
So true.
Yeah.
And like that's definitely a common thing with Christians and stuff. Like, and I feel like that's definitely big proof of that it's real. Is like how fast people just like make a switch just like that. Like
Mhm.
just changing like that. Like people
Yeah.
who, I mean, they just change their complete life around.
Yeah. Like I see people who are like sentenced to life in prison for like murders and stuff, and then like you see them in jail and they've like completely changed their life around and they're like following God and stuff, and it's just like it just shows that like you like I just said, like you're never too far gone. And I feel like that's what helps a lot of people, because they're living sinful lifestyles, and it's helpful to know that like God won't judge you in the same way that um like people judge you, because people aren't perfect. But God's never going to judge you for your sins as long as you repent and you try your best to not fall back into that sinful lifestyle.
Exactly. That's very true. Yeah, sorry, I was messing up on me. I think we're low key kind of coming to a conclusion,
Yeah,
but
I feel like we had a good conversation.
yeah, I feel like that too. I'm honestly like, I'm worried about like when I move, bro, because like I don't have like any friends there yet. So like I don't even know who I'm gonna like have like on here, bro. Like I don't know
Yeah,
what I'm gonna do because like the whole point of this podcast is like it's supposed to be like real talk with like your friends and stuff, talking about like life and God and that.
yeah,
And like I don't know, I don't have any friends to get on there, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. I got
yeah,
like my cousin I'm pretty close with, so I'll
yeah.
probably have her on there, but
I mean, like you'll still have like the people in Troy that want to like watch it and stuff.
that's true.
I feel like there's a lot of people that like don't want to listen to like a 45-minute podcast, but like you post like the little clips on Instagram, and I feel like there's a lot of people who watch those and like see what like the main message of like the conversation.
Yeah, that's facts. I don't know. There's definitely like there's a different crowd with podcasts and stuff. I didn't used to like that because we're all like programmed anymore to have like a goldfish freaking
Attention span.
attention span. Yeah,
Yeah.
but then I started listening to podcasts and I've actually gotten pretty
Yeah.
into them. They're like really cool.
Like I struggle listening to podcasts a lot, because like I don't know, whenever I'm listening to music, like there's like a main point and it's like, there's a beat and stuff, and then whenever I listen to a podcast, like a lot of the times it's just like
I like it because
a
it's
little
chill.
boring.
Like
Yeah, it's chill.
when you're driving or something like that, or
Hmm.
you're just like you're vacuuming, you're doing some chore, or you're at work
Yeah.
or something. Like it's so like it's just nice to like listen to be
Yeah.
honest. But I mean, honestly, in the future, I've been talking about this, just like going and finding like random people just to have on the podcast. It's
Yeah.
like some people like you wouldn't even expect some of the stories they have from their
Yeah.
life, like old people especially.
Well, I mean, you'll find, I mean, I'm sure you'll go down there and probably find a church that you want to go to. And I mean, you'll find people that you connect with and you have
That's
similar
true.
beliefs to.
There's a big church that um our cousins go to, and that's where we're gonna go. It's a big Baptist church actually,
Yeah.
but it's actually pretty good. And the
Hmm.
pastor, he's really good at explaining stuff. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Well,
But thanks for getting on here, Gavin.
yep.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Real talk. Real
Real
talk.
talk.
Ah,
Bro, I'm gonna have to fly down to Arkansas.
for real. I was talking to Pace about, and we've been talking about this for a bit.